There's been a resurgence in people talking about Animal Crossing lately, and rightfully so, as rumors and supposed leaks about a new Animal Crossing game for Nintendo Switch 2 being revealed soon have been swirling around the internet, generating a lot of buzz. It's honestly probably the most excited I've seen the community in a long time. Leave a like on the video if you hope this is all true and we get a new Animal Crossing game real soon. The main leak came from Beat'em Wood, another content creator who suggested that we will see Isabelle tease a new Animal Crossing game for 2026 at the end of an upcoming direct this July. Now, no such direct has yet to be announced, but the month is still early as of me making the video, and Beat'em Wood does seem like much more of a reliable source than some of the others we've seen out there. So the prospect has definitely gotten people excited. However, there is potentially some cold water to throw on all of this that might be worrying news for Animal Crossing fans who have been excited at the thought of getting a new Animal Crossing game soon. Now, one of Nintendo's former marketing leads came out with his own video responding to these rumors about a new Animal Crossing game. This was Kid Ellis, who you might know for doing Nintendo Minute. He's also a creator now over on YouTube. And from his point of view, we shouldn't expect a new Animal Crossing game for Switch 2 anytime soon, as it's a bit too early and Nintendo typically focuses on the hardcore fans for a console's early years. He says that the first few years of a console after launch are typically focused on the hardcore Nintendo fans, as these are the people who are actively hunting down consoles. Whereas with Animal Crossing, there was a recognition that after we release this game, we're going to be entering a new era for the system, where the audience we're going to be speaking to is completely different. Ellis points out that when New Horizons released, Nintendo started using mainstream celebrities like Brie Larson to help advertise the game. So, in summary, he thinks that the new Animal Crossing game will be used in the future to lure more casual gamers in once the hardcore fans have already settled into the new console. Now, obviously, as a marketing lead for many years, Kid Ellis obviously knows what he's talking about, and I don't think anything here he's saying is wrong whatsoever. It's certainly not my place to try and debunk what he's claiming. But yeah, this definitely could be pretty worrying for Animal Crossing players who are hoping to be seeing a new Animal Crossing game sooner rather than later on the new console. After all, I've gotten comments from literally hundreds of you saying you will only buy the Switch 2 when we get a new Animal Crossing game, and I think that sentiment is ringing true for a lot of people who really love the franchise, but just don't want to commit to the new console until they know that something is coming. However, I do want to put a bit more of a positive spin on things. Whilst I do think it is entirely possible we still could be waiting a few more years to see a new Animal Crossing game, I think it is worth noting that Nintendo's strategies have definitely changed since Kid Ellis was at Nintendo, as I believe he left the company 3 years ago at this point. Now, I'm sure his insights do ring true for the original Nintendo Switch, but Nintendo has definitely been playing things fairly differently for this new console era, as they do with every Nintendo era in my opinion. When New Horizons first released on the Nintendo Switch, it's worth noting that Animal Crossing was more of a niche franchise. Don't get me wrong, Animal Crossing still sold decently well, but it wasn't nearly as big as the other titans of Nintendo. However, Animal Crossing New Horizons changed that all. It brought massive success to the franchise for the first time ever. It is now the best-selling game of all time in Japan, which is crazy to think about. So it's a very different landscape than when the marketing for Animal Crossing New Horizons would have happened. I think if we use the logic that Nintendo uses the early years to focus on hardcore fans, then honestly at this point you could put Animal Crossing players into that category, especially when you consider there are thousands of people out there saying they will buy this new console if they get a new Animal Crossing game. If that isn't a more hardcore gamer who is really dedicated, then I don't see what else is. I think Animal Crossing is just in a really different position than it was when we started off with New Horizons. They had no idea that New Horizons was going to be so successful, so I think their ideas for releasing it about 3 years into the lifespan of the original Nintendo Switch would definitely be different this time around. I think it's still hard for a lot of people who followed Animal Crossing for a long time to really see the game as the absolute titan that it now is. It's no longer one of Nintendo's small franchises, it is one of the big ones, up there with Zelda. I mean, New Horizons is a game that sold better than Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on the Nintendo Switch, and whilst I'm not saying that makes Animal Crossing more successful than Zelda overall, especially when we consider the circumstances of when New Horizons released, it does show that tons and tons of people picked up a Nintendo Switch just to play Animal Crossing, and that was a huge success for Nintendo. So I can't imagine why they would wait a longer time this time around when a new Animal Crossing game would literally sell more Nintendo Switch 2 units. If anything, I would say something that is slightly more worrying about the prospect of us getting a new Animal Crossing game is the current stock of Nintendo Switch 2. They've admitted they haven't been able to keep up with demand, and analysts say that Nintendo Switch 2 could still be difficult to purchase until spring 2026. However, since I don't see a new Animal Crossing game releasing before 2026, I think this is still a possible thing we can kind of spin into a positive here. If Nintendo is planning on bringing out a lot more consoles in 2026 to make it easier for people to get their hands on it, that would be the perfect time for them to release a new Animal Crossing. After all, I really doubt they would want to release a brand new Animal Crossing game if the Nintendo Switch 2 was still difficult to get. I think this would be an absolute no from them, because they know that if a new Animal Crossing game is coming out, a lot of us are going to be purchasing a Nintendo Switch 2, and that applies to a lot of those casual gamers as well. So I do think that would be one of the important considerations they would have to make before they release a new Animal Crossing game. Like I said, I'm not trying to discredit Kit on any of this whatsoever. He of course has more insight than any of us, he literally worked at Nintendo. But I have also seen a lot of people commenting misinformation that Kit still works at Nintendo and he's speaking in an official capacity here. That just is not the case. He hasn't worked for Nintendo, I believe, for 3 years at this point, and yes, Nintendo's strategies have changed. He does make it clear that he's not saying it's definitely not going to happen, these are just his personal thoughts based on his past experience. Like he says at the end of his video, Nintendo is kind of in the era now where they can pretty much do anything due to the success of the original Nintendo Switch, so huge surprises can happen. After all, we got a brand new Donkey Kong game before we got a new 3D Mario, so I do think there will be some surprises and hopefully Animal Crossing is a part of that. So let's all keep our eyes out and see if there is a Nintendo Direct this month and whether Animal Crossing could be teased for 2026. I certainly think that if they are bringing out more stock for next year, that could be a good sign that we are hopefully moving towards that era. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Bob's Gang down below so I know you did. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe and turn on channel notifications for more.